Hi guys, and welcome back to another Ultralight video in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're back in Zell Am Zee in Austria, and for those of you who saw my last video, you'll have noticed the weather's changed a little bit. I'll leave a link to that video in the description or at the end of the video. But I've been taking my advice and using the ultralights to get close up to the scenery, and I spotted what initially I thought was a glitch. And it's actually a reservoir on top of this mountain. Thanks to Mr. Google, I was able to find out that this reservoir was called Plettsaukopf, and I'm sure I've got the incorrect pronunciation, or at least the emphasis on the wrong syllable. But this place does exist, and you can see on screen there some shots from the real world, not dissimilar from Microsoft. And I thought it'd be a good place to have a challenge for our ultralights to see if they could get up here. It's at a height of about 4,500 to 5,000 feet, and they're starting off at 2,400 feet. So in these conditions it's quite a challenge for the ultralight, and we'll see how they get on. So we'll have a look and see who's in the lineup. We've got the blue mesh amphibious ultralight in front of the queue. We've got a new ultralight, the Ultralight Stride from Papercraft, which is new from Sim Market. Following on with the VGP Power Solo with the floats. Then we've got the Ultralight 103, which is a pusher, so you've got the prop behind you and a nice view out the front. And behind the Ultralight 103, we've got the top rudder 103 Solo from Microsoft India's Sobo team. So we're sitting on the tarmac, ready to go, and we'll taxi onto the runway and go for a group takeoff. So shocks away guys, and there's the amphibious at the front of the queue, followed by another pusher, which is the Papercraft Ultralight Stride, followed by the Power Solo, and then the 103 Ultralight. And the guy who looks a little bit frustrated at the back there is in the top rudder from Microsoft, and he's away. I think he's just in a hurry, so we'll let him go and let the rest of us get airborne, and we'll have a look in the flight at how we're doing climbing that 2,000 feet up to the reservoir. Well, the amphibious ultralight is struggling a little bit at the moment due to the drag on his boat, I think, but he is climbing, and you can see the route here up to the reservoir coming from the airport, which is where the blue dot is on the left of the map. I've added some wind to the sim to try and help them get some lift. When I trialled this, I was struggling to get quickly to that sort of altitude, but with some assistance from the weather and lightening the load as much as possible, even the amphibious is getting there. So this is the Power Solo. This has got more power than anything, just a bigger engine, and finding no bother with this at all. Actually overtaking, I think, the amphibious ultralight. This is the Ultralight 103, and this has got loads of lift, but actually with its engine power and quite large drag, it's struggling for ground speed, for forward speed. So it's climbing nicely, but well behind the pack, low and slow with a good view as ever. So I'm sure it'll get there. If we move on to the next ultralight, is the guy who's in a hurry, the top rudder 103. Again, doing very well, plenty of lift and a bit more power or efficiency, and it is probably halfway up the climb, and doing well. Lovely texturing on this, especially that engine. It looks great. So we'll leave him to it. He seems to be doing okay, and we'll move on to the Papercraft. Now this doesn't seem to have any drag at all. I think the flight model is a bit off actually. So where the others are struggling, you're trying to go upwards as fast as you can. This doesn't seem to have any additional drag, and is at the front of the queue. So further on in the flight now, the amphibious ultralight has got to the altitude. It's taken some doing, but we're there, and we're sort of looking slightly down on the reservoir and approaching for a landing. So we've got a lot to aim at in the amphibious, because we want to land on the lake itself. Might be a bit harder for the other guys who've got to find a path to land on, or at least some hard ground. The Power Solo is just way ahead here in altitude. I think he might have overcooked it. He seems a bit high and needs to do a bit of a crash dive, I think, to get down on there. Again, he's landing on the water. He's got the floats, so he's got a bit of a bigger target rather than the road that circles the reservoir. And here's the aerolight behind the pack, but climbing well up to altitude now, looking at final approach. I think he's heading for the road on the left there, and we can see those landings later, but making a good approach from about the right altitude, I'd say. And here is the top rudder solo. He looks like he's lining up for the right hand side of the reservoir, but again looks like maybe a bit high. Maybe he can float down a little, but oh, he's going for the left now, but we'll watch that later. Those of you who know me and my videos know that I like to put my own music together so I can capture the mood and avoid any copyright problems. So we'll bring my epic track in. I hope it's not too epic for you, and sit back and watch the action. Okay guys, catch you later. Bye.